In 1943, the government seized Nikola Tesla's most dangerous invention, a healing technology that threatened Big Pharma's entire empire. They buried it for 100 years, but it's back, and over 1,000 people worldwide are using it right now. When you join Tesla Club, you get your own Tesla plasma device, 5 times more powerful than the original Violet Ray and built to last. You join a private Telegram group where members share breakthroughs daily. Stroke recoveries, cancer reversals, chronic pain gone in minutes. These aren't stories. These are yesterday's posts. You get lifetime support from people who've been where you are. Technical guidance, therapeutic protocols, a group that actually understands. And you get access to hundreds of documented experiments, real members, real results, real transformations. No prescriptions, no waiting for permission, no begging doctors who don't believe you. Just you, your machine, and a movement taking health sovereignty back. We're Tesla Club, private science club for self-directed healing. Visit tzla.club. Join the revolution.
Plasma. It's back!
How's it going, everyone? I hope you're well. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm probably going to blind you a lot in this video. Apologies in advance. But it is wonderful. Feels like, it doesn't even feel like spring, it feels like summer today. It's great. Perfect day for walking, which is lucky I like walking, because to be honest, it's probably going to be the only way to get about soon, isn't it? Obviously all by design. I don't know if you saw this, but the EU Energy Minister came out a couple of days ago. He looks like David Brent, the guy. He looks like David Brent from The Office. Anyway, he came out and said that we're going to have to fly less, we're going to have to drive less, we're going to have to work from home when possible. I was thinking, did we make a video talking about that like 2 weeks ago or something? It was an obvious play that they were going to pull. And it even said in one of the news articles, it was like reminiscent of the COVID restrictions. It's like, yeah, of course it is. It's the same play. It's the same people finding a different excuse for the same play. And the reason is, they're so predictable. I've been saying this for a while. It's why they monetize us, the people, which of course they do through tax. They monetize the people's creativity because they haven't got any. They've got no imagination. That's why it's the same play. That's why it's so easy to call and predict, because you know what they're going to do. Another way that it's easy to predict is, you know, when they talk about relationships, like they say when someone, sorry if I'm blinding you, they say when someone tells you who they are, believe them. You've heard that before, haven't you? It's very true. Well, in this instance, when these people tell you what they want, believe them. So it's no secret that they don't want us flying. It's no secret that they don't want us driving or traveling and mingling with different people and going into different places and connecting. They want us locked down in our little 15-minute cities with our little bit of universal basic income, just enough to not die, that of course you only get if you comply with everything they desire. That's no secret. So in the same way they say when someone shows you they are, believe them, or tells you they are, believe them, when they tell you what they want, believe them. So when you make videos like this and you talk about the fact that they want us to not eat meat and they want us to not be able to fly or travel or drive and all this kind of stuff, some people even now will go, oh, conspiracy theories. It's like, they've told you what they wanted, and all they do is they manufacture crisis for them to exploit. And of course they did that with the whole COVID stuff. Now whatever you believe with that, some will believe it's real and it came from a wet market, some believe it came from a lab, others believe it doesn't exist or didn't exist. Sort of irrelevant in this, because either way, even if it was real and it did exist and it did come from a wet market or whatever, the amount of deaths, even in terms of the official data, did not warrant anything like the restrictions and the destruction of livelihoods and the mental health and all that stuff. Like, it didn't. So either way, even if you believe it was real and, you know, not manufactured or not created in terms of a psychological trick, they still exploited it, because they always exploit it. And of course, with this attack on Iran, it was always going to close the Strait of Hormuz. That was obvious. Everyone knew that. Yet they did it anyway, because what they needed was an excuse to bring in this same kind of restrictions. And so it was interesting that this particular article, it was in a European paper, I'm not sure what it was called, can't remember now, but the fact they compared this guy Jorgensen, his comments with the pandemic. And of course, he's not the only one saying it. Now, in the UK today, just as I was literally just coming out, there's a small UK aeroplane company called Skybus, I think. Well, they've cancelled their flights now. I think they connected Newquay down in Cornwall with London, and they've cancelled their flights now, saying they don't have enough aviation fuel. And of course, that's just the beginning. And that's the point. Because as we were saying in a previous video, they can tell you to lock down, and they can tell you not to drive, they can tell you not to travel, not to fly, but you can ignore it and go, no mate, stick it up your backside. Whereas if there's no fuel, then of course, I ain't got much choice. And that's the point. That's the point, to create, because part of me thinks that the whole COVID thing was a bit of not a dry run, because it massively affected people and it caused a lot of problems. But, well, I guess was in some ways. It was testing the water a little bit, seeing what compliance you'd get and seeing what tactics worked and what tactics didn't in terms of getting people to go along with stuff. And of course, in the end, they will have realised that simply telling people to lock down didn't mean they were going to lock down, because obviously lots of us rebelled, hundreds of thousands on the streets and all that kind of stuff. So they would have gone away from that and gone, right, we need to find a way of doing this, that they got no choice. Now, of course, some people might think that's crazy to think that they work that far in advance, but this war on Iran has been planned, planned in terms of from Israel's side, so obviously they manufactured it, for as long as 47 years. So yeah, they'll work a couple of years in advance, mate. So just hearing this little bit about the COVID similarities made me think, well, of course there's lots of things they want that they're going to try and use this to achieve. One of them is electric cars. Now, they've wanted people driving electric cars for a long time. Reason being, you can turn them off. You can literally control an electric car. We know that because lots of people said to Elon Musk that he should turn off all the Teslas in Russia, obviously after Russia had invaded Ukraine. And rather than saying, oh, I can't do that, he refused to do it. Oh, so you can do it then? Well, yeah, of course you can. It's that whole thing from Little Britain, isn't it? Computer says no. And that's why they want people driving electric cars. Because electric car you can program. So it will only go where it's permitted to go. A diesel car or a petrol car, you just drive it, do you know what I mean? You aim it and drive it. Goes where you want. Whereas an electric car would be programmable, so that they can say, no, you're not allowed here. No, you can only drive that amount of distance. You can only cover so many miles. And then, do you know what I mean? So they want people driving electric cars. And again, they've made no secret of that. But electric car sales are plummeting. And the whole, it's going to save the planet, that didn't work. People didn't buy it. And they certainly don't buy it now. You're blowing up oil fields and stuff and gas fields. So this would be another way of forcing people to go and get electric vehicles. Because of course, you can charge an electric vehicle off of renewables. So off of wind power and solar power and whatever else. But you can't fill up a diesel car with wind. Do you know what I mean? So again, that will force people to get electric cars. And then once they've got them, like I say, then they control where they go and when they go and whatever. But on the COVID bit, I'm sorry if I keep blinding you. On the COVID bit, it made me think, well, okay, so work from home, that was a COVID thing, wasn't it? Obviously no travel, no unnecessary travel and stuff, that was a COVID thing. And then it made me think, well, what else are they going to pull? They're already talking about having your kind of day for driving or days for driving dictated by what your number plate is. So certain number plates some days, certain number plates other days or whatever. And you think, well, how are they going to police that? Number plate recognition cameras, they're everywhere, aren't they? Starting to make sense now. Oh, that's why they want them everywhere. Yeah, get a nice big fine in the post. Until you've got an electric car they can turn off, and you're still driving your diesel or petrol if you can afford to fill it up, then those number plate recognition cameras will send you a nice fine in the post if you're driving on a day you're not meant to. So of course, you know, the travel aspect is related to COVID as well, because people weren't allowed to travel or whatever. And then I thought to myself, in terms of fuel rationing, we're going to go back to essential workers again, aren't we? So the on-call doctor, he's going to get a tank of fuel. The ambulances, they'll get a tank of fuel. Fire engines, whatever. The police, oh, they'll get a tank of fuel, all right. Nurses might get a tank of fuel. Amazon drivers, they'll get a tank of fuel. People putting up 5G masts, 6G masts now probably, they'll get a tank of fuel. But you and me, the unessential people, even if you need that tank of fuel to go to work, to feed your family, sort of essential, they can deem you unessential, can't they? I'm thinking, they're going to pull the same COVID plays, aren't they? Because they've got no imagination, honestly. But I tell you what, if it's announced that on a Thursday at 8 p.m, we've got to go out and bang our pots and pans and applaud wind turbines, right? If that happens, I'm out. Like that's stop the ride, I want to get off at that point. But whilst I'm sort of saying that as a bit of a joke, would you put it past them? I don't think I would. Thank you very much for watching and subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you'd like to take a look at all the other things that I do, the content like weekly shows and documentaries that I create, please check out my Linktree link in the description below.